Thanks for joining me. Well, here's a new video after 3 busy weeks in a row. Well, just because the workload, it's been a little overwhelming, and the F-35 engine nozzle development was among the projects, and a video showcasing this project was recently launched, and hopefully the video provided a clear overview of the work. Set aside having other priorities and commitments. Basically, I'm swamped. Um, and I do these reviews when the time permits. Folks, these reviews, they take a lot of time to do, more than you might imagine. To those of you who are looking forward to this particular review of the F-22 Raptor, unfortunately, the time frame didn't quite work out. So that was a brief tangent. All right, let's get this review going, shall we? So, as the current theme is explored of the fifth generation fighter, so today there is an exciting review coming up on the quite delightful the Lockheed F-22A Raptor. How about we call this aircraft with better names, something like the Battle Star. I might be a little more descriptive, or it might be the Sky's Fury. Perhaps this name would be a little more badass. That's just me here, but there is a tendency to think of catchy nicknames, so there might be some bias. In any event, that was a slight digression, but moving on. So this Raptor was the first production article. Also, this Raptor designated code 91-4002 belonged to the 412 test wing. It is a wings of the United States Air Force, basically assigned to the Air Force Test Center at Edwards Air Force Base in California. Folks, bear with me. I think it is important to establish some background on this test wing unit. So, the 412 test wing, it is the heart of the Air Force Material Command's effort to conduct and support research on flight development and testing in new aerospace systems from concept to combat, according to Edwards Air Force Base. The 412 test wing is responsible for planning, conducting, and analyzing and reporting on all flight and ground testing of the aircraft weapon systems, software, and components, as well as modeling and simulation for the U.S. Air Force. And the 412 test wing operates various aircrafts such as the F-16 Vipers, um, of course, the F-22 Raptors, the F-35 Lightning, and the B-2 Spirit, or the B-1 Lancer, B-52 Stratofortress, and the KC-135 Stratotanker, the KC-46, C-17 Globemaster, T-17, T-7, Red Hawk, or T-38 Talon, and lately, of course, the NJAD family of systems, which is the sixth generation fighters, like the drones and etc. Now, since that has been covered, coming back to the main subject, so this Raptor was the first ever built, has rolled off the Lockheed Martin's aeronautics facility production line in Marietta, Georgia, on April 9, 1997. It was officially named Raptor. Also, during the unveiling ceremony, was giving the nickname of Spirit of America. Um, the first flight of this aircraft, tail number 91-4002, on February 10, 1998, conduct its maiden flight from Doben Air Reserve Base. On June 29, 1998, piloted by Paul Mitz. On July 25th, 1998, the aircraft was officially delivered to the Air Force units and flowing to Edwards Air Force Base on August 26th. And in 1998, at Edwards Air Force Base, Raptor 002 joined another Raptor, tail number 001, uh, in the A-22 test program. By the end of 1998, those two F-22s demonstrated they could attain over Mach 1 without using afterburners. So let's discuss the subject of the F-22 Raptor. Incidentally, the F-22 subject may have been touched upon before, perhaps in the earlier discussion reviews. Shall we revisit this? All right, let's drop right into it. So, how was the F-22 Raptor story born? Um, the F-22 program was initially known as the Advanced Tactical Fighter, or the ATF program. This program was initiated by the U.S. Air Force in 1991. I'm sorry, excuse me, 1981. Um, Basically, to develop a replacement for the various generations, such as the F-15 Eagle and the F-16 Fighting Falcon, and etc. So, the two main competitors on the Advanced Tactical Fighter program were the Lockheed, along with the Boeing and General Dynamics team, basically developing the YF-22A. And while Northrop, on the other hand, with the McDonnell Douglas team developing the YF-23A. Well, the U.S. Air Force awarded demonstration contracts to those two teams in 1986 after extensive flight testing the Lockheed team. So ultimately, the YF-22A was chosen as the winner in 1991, while the YF-23 failed to meet the required criteria, and thus the YF-22 design was further developed and refined into the F-22 Raptor. Um, and the ATF program eventually led to the development and production of the F-22 Raptor. The F-22 Raptor, it is a single-seat, twin-engine, fifth-generation fighter. The F-22 possesses advanced stealth features that significantly reduce its radar cross-section. It is a world's preeminent air dominance fighter and proving strategic deterrence. This aircraft, considered by many as the world's best fighter jet, which was conceived in the mid 1990s, admits uncertainty about future threats despite the Cold Wars, and the U.S. Air Force sought a replacement for the F-15 with the advanced stealth and speed and maneuverability. The YF-22 prototype outperformed the YF-23 in test, leading to the F-22's development. Pardon me, folks, I have to take a little swig here. So, anyways, and entering in service basically in 2005, it met all the desired capabilities, what the U.S. Air Force was seeking for, like we're talking like a super cruise and thrust vectoring, advanced avionics, and impressive stealth capabilities, although expensive and complex to maintain because it's got all that sophisticated avionics, sophisticated radar absorbing materials, particularly the radar absorbing coating, and this material can degrade under various conditions and consequently requiring frequent and expensive reapplication. These complex systems and components require expensive and costly maintenance. We're talking each F-22 costs anywhere from 150 to 350 million. No joke, no shit. It is expensive bird to keep in the sky, folks. But I think the F-22 remains unmatched in terms of air superiority. Some experts argue its continued use is essential unit to the next generation air dominance, or better known the NJAD. This fighter will remain operational. Incidentally, to this day, there is no definitive retirement date for the F-22. The F-22 Raptor, according to many experts, it is the best fighter jet on the planet today. However, there were significant debates during the initial stages of the development projects between the experts. Some experts claim that the YF-22 it's better than the YF-23. Then there's those saying that the YF-23 should win the concept. So who's right? Who's wrong? So here's the story of the plane came to being. So let's highlight and breakdown of the key areas of debates. While the YF-22, which is now the F-22 Raptor, impressed with its agility and maneuverability, some argue that the YF-23, like a superior in terms of range and speed and stealth, could have made it an even greater assets for the U.S. Air Force. But the critics point, to flawed selection criteria and marketing advantages as factors in the decision. And the YF-22 feature thrust vectoring, which significantly enhance its maneuverability, especially at the low speeds and high angles of attack. This was seen as a crucial advantage in close-range combat scenarios. But on the other hand, the YF-23 was designed with a Navy's emphasis on stealth, incorporating advantage. Basically, it was incorporating with best advanced aerodynamic features to basically minimize its radar cross-section. While the YF-22 was also stealthy, some argue that the YF-23 had a slight edge, and also the YF-23 was generally considered faster and had a longer range, potentially offering advantages for a long-range missions and operations in expansive theaters like the Pacific. The YF-22 prototype was considered more complete and further along in its development, having successfully demonstrated key capabilities like launching weapons from its eternal bay. And ultimately, the U.S. Air Force selected the YF-22, which became the F-22 Raptor, emphasizing the importance of maneuverability and perceiving lower program risk with the Lockheed. The debate over which aircraft was truly superior. Now, I will say there is no single answer to this question of which aircraft is the best. It depends on the aviation enthusiast and their unique perspective, and also the experts particularly in a hindsight, considering the evolving nature of the air combat and the strength the YF-23 might have offered in a certain scenarios. Folks, I also would like to share my personal point of view on this particular subject because, as an aviation enthusiastic here, I should offer a few words on this subject. The YF-23, in my opinion, was that's just my opinion here, folks. So just don't quote me. Was by far the better aircraft, and it's easily won the competition over the YF-22. It was faster, more capable, had far superior stealth, and it was suitable for both the U.S. Air Force and the Navy. The YF-22 about being more maneuverable is, I think it's absolutely BS, folks. Don't get me wrong, the YF-22 aircraft is undeniably a successful platform, and the other side of the fact that the YF-22 and the YF-23 never participated in any dogfights exercises against each other, only against an F-16. So why do we have the F-22, not the F-23? Well, because the competition was rigged from the start. While in many ways Northrop's losing the YF-23 was a while in many ways, I mean, like I said, uh, the YF-23 was much better designed. The U.S. Air Force chose the Lockheed's aircraft because it believed that the company would better manage the development program, and um, because the service thought the Raptor would cost less. Um, the YF-23 had a very exotic and appealing shape, but based on interviews from the Air Force, uh, ATF System Program Office, lead engineer named Rick Abel said that the both aircraft were excellent and meet all performance requirements, and while each had its advantages over the other, neither was decisively superior. Um, Comparisons between the YF-22 and the YF-23, it is also not useful because of the way of prototyping contracts were written. They weren't flowing at the same test points. The contractors chose their own test points, which I think made apples to apples comparison difficult, right? As a matter of fact, the original ATF system program office didn't even specify flying prototypes, but the ATF System Program Office was pressured to add it due to the results of the Packard Commission in 1986, and as a result, the prototypes were a very late addition, and the System Program Office only used prototyping as a way to demonstrate a viability of the concepts rather than to have the prototypes closely um, representing a production level vehicles uh, competing against each other. Again, this is showing with the System Program Office allowing contractors to select their own test points for validation, and because the two proposals were close in terms of technical merits, program management and industrial base concerns then played a big roles in the decision, and not for uh, unwarranted reasons. At the time, Northrop was having significant issue with their B2 in terms of budget overruns and achieving its stealth goals, while Lockheed's F-117 didn't have nearly as many issues. compounding this is the fact that the Lockheeds flew more test flights than the Northrop, and the U.S. Air Force had a legitimate concerns about not putting all combat aircraft manufacturing in one basket with the Northrop. And the F-22 production was also terminated for political and economical reasons, which was back in 2009, because at the time there were no apparent air-to-air threats that justified the capabilities of the F-22. Um, the U.S. Air Force had initially planned to purchase 750 F-22s. The program was cut back to 187 operationals aircraft due to the budget constraints, and the last F-22 Raptor was delivered in 2012. It is a great fighter. This aircraft is designed to, dominate the skies with its ability to outmaneuver any adversary, making it formidable in dogfight scenarios. This fighter, considered the top U.S. air superiority fighter, knowing for its unique combination of stealth, speed, and agility. And I think this fighter will continue to dominate the skies, and it will remain airworthy. So there you have it. What do you all think? I'm curious, folks. Your perspective are welcome in the comments below. And while reviewing the models, it is important for understanding the technical aspects. Sharing initial thoughts and perspective is a crucial for generating diverse ideas and fostering creativity within the team, right? So yeah, this aircraft, it is the ultimate stealth fighter, and this fighter is not only designed to end the fight, but it will end the fight before it begins. With unmatched speed, agility, other characteristics like radar evading tech, it is the beast in the skies. And even no one else can have this fighter. Well, you know why? Because it's a national security thing. So back in the 1998, Congress banned the F-22 exports for all intended purposes, just to keep it classified, such as the stealth aspects and avionics tech, out of the foreign hands. Even allies, we're talking like Israel or Japan, etc. So why is that? While classified information is intended to be secured, it can sometimes be spread throughout various means, right? Including leaks or mishandling, or international sharing. We have the big threats such as China or Russia, who'd love to crack the secrets. And the other important aspect is that the F-22 production line stops in 2011, when only 195 aircraft were ever built. And to restarting the production line will cost billions. The cost always has me concerned. Well, actually, few reasons now that I think about it. We're talking over 50 billion dedicated for 195 units only. That's a lot. The other concern is the maintenance cost, which is the nightmare. Maintaining the F-22 Raptor requires a substantial budget. Let me break it down for you, folks. Every flight hour of the F-22 Raptor estimates cost anywhere from $70,000 to $200,000 per flight hour. Folks, I'm giving you a legitimate numbers from the U.S. Air Force officials as an Air Force veteran here, not some phony numbers off of Google. And yeah, that's insanely expensive. It's also frustrating I always say this, even in my previous video, I think I've mentioned this point, and I will keep saying this. For me, it is frustrating to see such an expensive aircraft flying in the air shows, especially given its operating costs. Don't get me wrong, it's the coolest sight seeing a Raptor flying around. I've seen the Raptor flies in the air shows at Oshkosh, Wisconsin. My goodness, my mind went berserk. But what I'm trying to say is that this aircraft, it deserves to be such a high performer in a real combat scenarios constantly, rather being such a high performer in the air shows. Although this aircraft, it did showcase its capabilities, it did participate in a few combat scenarios. The Raptor participated in the U.S.-led intervention against ISIS in Syria, basically conducting air-to-ground strikes on targets, including a command and control facilities between September 2000. I'm sorry, yeah, 2014 and July 2015, and um, in 2017, the F-22s collaborated with the B-52 to bomb production facilities in Taliban controlled areas in Afghanistan. And also, the F-22 successfully shot down a Chinese surveillance balloon off of the coast of South Carolina. I think it was in February 2023. Anywho, now the F-35 kind of, taking over. I think because the F-35, it's way cheaper and export friendly and versatile, which makes the F-22's high cost exclusively and less practical. So um, with all that, hurdles, the F-22 Raptor still remains the sky dominator. I think it's fair to say both aircrafts, F-22 and the F-35, play crucial roles, and yet different roles. Um, I think, you know, the Air Force strategy is the F-22 remains a vital asset. The F-22 is considered the primary air superiority fighter, while the F-35, I think, is a multi-role fighter with a greater emphasis on a strike and electronic warfare capabilities. The other problem was, folks, with the F-22, so all intended purposes was to produce such a large number. So unfortunately, was not produced in a sufficient numbers to replace the F-15. So its logistics do not benefit from the economy of scale like the F-16 and the F-35. F-22 uses legacy stealth materials that increase the maintenance cost, and retrofitting them with the F-35's more durable full material stack is also not possible without replacing the composite panels of every F-22. This bird was basically, as I've mentioned, designed primarily for an air superiority and speed, agility, maneuvering. This aircraft is super maneuverable, well equipped with the thrust vectoring nozzles, and truly, this is a magnificent piece of engineering. That's just my opinion. And I don't think that they would ever make something like the F-22, trust me. Now, they're focusing on the F-35 and the NJAD. Uh, the U.S. Air Force is prioritizing the F-35 as, a stealthy mainstay supported by cheaper F-15EX, or better known the Eagle II. By the way, this is another aircraft I'm planning to review later on. Anyways, um, the anticipates the NJAD to replace the F-22 in the future. Uh, I don't know much about that. Come on, U.S. Air Force. I mean, seriously, I don't care much about the sixth generation fighters, but here's what I would say. The U.S. Air Force has decided to retire the F-22. I think retiring this magnificent air fighter would be a tragic chapter in the U.S. Air Force history. And so far, the good thing is, the good news, there are no indication of official retirement date for this aircraft. I will say definitely the Raptor will remain in service for a while. I think it's unlikely they will retire this aircraft because just giving its unique value. So the other interesting topic is, folks, a lot of folks always, debates about the paint scheme of the F-22 Raptor. So the F-22 Raptor is a fairly perplexing topic, right? Since one of my buddies who work in the department that paints these Raptors, of course, he gave me some insights into the paint process. However, I'll put a little disclaimer here before I freaked out about it later. So, due to the some of the information sensitive nature, unfortunately, some of the specific details cannot be shared on YouTube videos for publicly. That's just part of the reality, folks. Now, I don't want to share some information that could lead to the jail afterwards. I'm just kidding. I'll try to offer a few factors. Here's what can be shared. Now, the question is, why do some of the F-22 Raptors look like they've been likely charboiled? So the smoky tint, it's some sort of stealth that you can obviously see, right? Each aircraft wears layers of radar absorbing materials. One of the layers, often called the iron ball paint, which packs microscopic carbony that basically soak up radar energy and dump it as heat. The Raptor can loop around, as we all know, can loop around right around 1.8 Mach without afterburners, and of course can top it at Mach 2 plus when it's pressed. Basically, will drive the skin temperatures into the hundreds of degrees of Fahrenheit, typically caused by the air friction as shockwave scour. Um, its titanium lead-in edges and throw the vectoring nozzles at that aerodynamic uh, roasting. Those materials can gradually oxidizes, which causes darkens and flakes, and ultimately leaving some kind of uh, shall we say, like toasted coffee stains patches. Then the maintainers, they need to sand and repaint the coating. So whatever the Raptor hits the higher speed sorties in the atmosphere, basically that cooks the stealth skin all over again, but not the entire fuselage, probably part of it. So immediately after landing, the inspection team will inspect the fuselage to necessitating the maintenance for repainting only the affected areas. And also, as he worked on the paint department, he confirmed the paint schemes on these HobbyMasters F-22 models match the real life aircraft. And according to him, since he worked in that department, this is based on his statement, not mine. Because giving their experience in that field, probably they're more knowledgeable among us. Although as a collector here, been collecting for many years, I know these paint schemes are dialed in based on experience and judgment, not just what someone has been told. But it's always good to hear legitimate confirmations from people, which basically boost the validations on any type of matter. Now, with all that historical background established, let's now transition to analyze the model itself and some of its components. So to begin with, this model from HobbyMaster, of course, made in 1/72nd scale. The model number is HA2812. And I will say that this release is outdated and this model has been discontinued. And this was my second Raptor, which landed in my collection back in, I want to say, in 2011 or 2012. Whew, that dates me, doesn't it? That really shows the collection's age, right? So prior to this Raptor, I did collect the very first Raptor, which was from, I believe, the Langley Air Base, which I think I demonstrated that one to one of my subscribers and some months back. The reason I opted for this particular Raptor because I love the giant falcon head on the tail design, which I think that indicates the Raptor insignia. To me, this was a slight nice changes uh, from the standard lettering since most F-22s look more or less the same. Overall, Hobby Masters did a good job with these F-22s. They even got the paint color to match what the FA-22 looks like. It didn't quite have the metallic sheen back then, not like the F-22 we know today. Um, you can see more of the darker gray camouflage on the top of the lighter overall gray, and you may notice this Raptor has a distinct camouflage pattern, unlike the other Raptors, which they use a low visible paint scheme. But this one, it's a little more prominent. This is more like a dark dull gray or light ghost gray. In terms of armament, this particular release carry a two external fuel tanks for transatlantic missions, and also it comes with the two air-to-air AIM-9X Sidewinder missiles. Uh, Carries the AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles in its internal side weapon bays. These bays are located on the center fuselage near the engine inlets, and each bay capable of holding one AIM-9 Sidewinders for short range. And basically, it is for the AIM-9 Sidewinders. It's made for the short range combat scenarios, and also this model comes with the six 120 AIM-RAMs, which is long-range air-to-air missiles. Uh, Basically, it's stored in its main internal base. The good thing is HobbyMaster allows you to showcase the weapon base either closed or open, and of course showcasing the missiles as well. And also the cockpit details are exceptional, which to me, I think is true to the original. The canopy on this version is hinged within the fuselage and cannot be detached, basically differing from the removable canopy on the newer releases. Uh, as per usual, Hobby Master are the masters of the scale. That's what I would say always. All proportions are scaled meticulously. The model is proportionately accurate to the real life aircraft. such as the air intakes, which I call them the diamond shape. They're accurate. The nose, the wings, the vertical stabilizers, the rear horizontal, they do pivot, which they tips up and tips down. It would be great if HobbyMaster include this feature on the F-35s or F-15s or 18s and so on and so forth. I think it might be worth considering for HobbyMaster. Might be in someday, who knows. I'll give it a good hunch though. As with the rest of the HobbyMaster models, this model includes a pilot figure, which allowing you to display it either inside the cockpit or separately. And of course, you can display this model with the landing gear down or in the flight configuration. And of course, the traditional display stand is included. So, considering all the factors, it's a fantastic piece, and it's thrilling to have added it to the collection. To reiterate, this was the second Raptor, and it evokes memories of the past. Matter of fact, folks, last time I was checking on eBay, which was about a year ago. Anyways, someone on eBay was asking for $450. Yeah, for this. I mean, that's a bit steep. That's just wild. I know it's just hard to swallow, but here we are. Uh, the only problem, folks, with this hobby, where if you don't jump on, on releases early, you might end up paying higher prices later, right? And unfortunately, I cannot recommend this model because it's unobtainium. Because there are none of that I've seen for sale on eBay. So recommendation isn't possible. However, please, don't get emotional. Uh, there are a quite delightful releases of the F-22 available from HobbyMaster. You guys can look at them for just consideration. And that's all for today, folks. Let's wrap up the video. If you are a current subscriber, I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to your support. And for those of you who are new here, don't forget to subscribe. I think subscribing to the channel is one of the best ways to support the work and empower the creator to keep creating the content that viewers enjoy, right? And also feel free to ask any questions or request a review in the comment section below. As of now, the intent is to publish a new videos bi-weekly. Until next time, thanks for watching, everyone.